Okay, so here we are with Karnaugh Map Example number 4, and you can see I've already drawn the equation and I've already filled in the areas of my map. So I have 4 inputs, A, B, C, D, but you notice that a lot of the terms in my equation only include 3 of the inputs. Remember, in those cases, that input that's not shown, you have to include both possible values for that input. So for example, the red combo here with A, B bar, C and D can be any possible value for that. So essentially I'm including, all 4 across the bottom, but the first one I had already included in a previous term, so I didn't have to write it in there twice. But what I want to show you in this example is just how the encirclements would go. So the key thing to remember is that we've said that only one thing changes as we go from one row or column to the next row or column. And this is true even if we wrap around the sides of our map. So if we picture our map as like a tube or a sphere where you can go from one side to the other, it's also only one change from one side to the other. And that means that our encirclements can cross from one side to the other. So looking at this map, at first you might think that your largest grouping is 4, but in fact, your largest grouping is actually 8, because you can combine these 4 at the top with these 4 at the bottom to make a grouping. And then when I look at that grouping, A bar, B bar stays the same. Sorry, actually, A actually changes because the bottom row has a change of A. Only B bar stays the same. Everything else, A, B, C, and D, or A, C, and D are going through changes. Only B bar stays the same in that whole grouping. So, so B bar is the first term of our answer. And then for the remaining 2 ones that we haven't circled, we still want to try and make the biggest grouping. The biggest grouping is actually a group of 4 if I group these 2 on this side with those 2 on that side, right? And remember, I can only do this when I'm dealing with the edge rows or columns of the map, right? That's when it goes from one side to the other. I can't wrap from one side to the other if I'm not on the edge, right? So in this case, the things that remain the same here are A and D bar. So they become the terms, and this is our final answer for this. So you can see that this, this really simplifies.